Here we are playing the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here knowing it, but we the ones who late. Our family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Keep that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to code, stop for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and power at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now be on the CNN. DPT let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Just break it down here, I'm Dr. Voice TV.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's happening? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drvoicetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. If you're Black and intelligent, say something in the chat. What's going on, Rob Brown? How are you? If you're Black and intelligent, say I. Say I. Let everybody know that you are in the building, that you exist. Because, you know, what they tend to do is they like to sort of wash people like us, you know, sort of out of the building, right? They want to act like we don't exist. They want to act like all Black people want to be ignorant, and I'm not a fan of that. That stuff actually, quite frankly, kind of pisses me off. And what I want to say to you guys is that if you are intelligent and you want something better for your community, you have to carry that and carry that proudly. You got to be gangster about your shit. If you're not gangster about your intelligence, then ignorant people will run all over you. And also, don't brag about being broke. Ain't nothing wrong with a Black person making some money, right? So I don't want you guys to be broke and to be struggling. Don't let anybody make you think that because you're doing well that you ain't keeping it real, or because you ain't got problems, a stack of problems to the ceiling, that you ain't keeping it 100, that you don't know nothing about the struggle. A lot of y'all know about the struggle and you made it out of the struggle. And in fact, if you are a Black person who has made it out of the struggle, if you started in the struggle, like I told you guys about what I showed you guys video of the projects I was born in. If you came out of the struggle, raise your hand. Say I. Let me know. Say I. If you know what it's like to eat a fried bologna sandwich with no bologna, or if you know what it's like to be going through the house with candles in the wintertime because you know the utility bill couldn't get paid, right? If you know what it's like you can tell how whether mama got paid yesterday or not by how much food is in the refrigerator. Say I. If you've gone through any of those things, then say I in the chat, because I think it's damn ridiculous when we got people out here acting like being Black means that your life must always be terrible and that white people always have to control you. You got to be scared of your own shadow, and you can't never do nothing with yourself. That's a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, let me jump in this conversation and talk to you guys about something that I wanted to discuss with you guys. I want to say hello to you guys on Instagram and also on Facebook on the African History Network. Does anybody know? Give me a yes or no if you're aware of the situation with Patrick Patterson. Are any of you aware of what Patrick Patterson said? He's an NBA player. He plays for the Clippers. I don't think he's very good because he only makes about $3 million a year. He's kind of a journeyman, but he said some stuff that really put him in the national spotlight. It probably made him more famous than he's ever been. He was on Twitter, and this actually happened last year. Somebody dug it up, so maybe somebody just had an agenda on him. I don't know, but it was whatever the agenda was. It worked because basically he got into an argument with a brother who made a nasty remark about him being married to a white woman. I think her name was Becky or Sarah or something, one of the or Brittany or something, like Sarah Nasser. That's her name. So he married this lady named Sarah Nasser, and he had this congratulations to my wife for happy anniversary, stuff like that. Well, he came back, and another guy on his Instagram apparently asked him a question. He said, how come, you guys get money and you marry white women? And that's a good question. I don't know if has anybody else ever had that question? Has anybody else ever asked themselves that question? Like, what is it with the white women? Like, why do Black men abandon white women when they start making a little bit of money, right? And, I'm a financial guy, right? So I'm always curious about how money changes your behavior. I know money changes you. Just know this. There's a thing called financial psychology. Money does change you. So I've always wondered, anyway, so Patrick came back and basically made a statement like, oh, so I'm supposed to marry a bulldog and then and then act like everything's okay, or that I'm pro-Black, even though I married a bulldog. And let me read his comment exactly. He says, so I should settle for a bulldog and act like I'm happy with my life and preach, keep it in your race to the world as if Dr. King didn't fight or die for equality, acceptance, all cultures, loving one another, and no hate. That's what he said. All right. So yes or no, if you thought the comment was Bullshit. Yes or no? Give me a yes or no if you had a problem with what he said. Yes or no? Did you have an issue with Patrick's remarks? Um, I had a big issue with his remarks. I thought that what he said was crazy, inappropriate. I said as much during the live stream yesterday, and my emotions got to me because I really I admire black women. And I feel that if you marry somebody who's not black, that's okay. But when you're putting down your own, you're really putting down yourself. When you're putting down people who are just like you're really talking about yourself. When he talks about black women, he's talking about his own mother, which means he's talking about himself because without his mother, there would be no him. So that's a mental illness. That's what you call a mental illness. That's what you call colonized slave thinking. That's something that was implanted in him by a white supremacist society, which he clearly submitted to, which affects a lot of our athletes. A lot of our athletes, unfortunately, because they're separated from the black community. First thing they do when they see that you got talent is they pull you away from other black people. And they'll tell you things like, "Oh, well, don't hang out with those guys in the hood. They're just a bunch of leeches. They're going to take all your money. That's going to get you in trouble. Blah 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 blah." And then next thing you know, these guys are coming out speaking another language, and they got some blonde haired, blue eyed woman on their arms, and they think they're better than everybody else. So it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, he apologized today, and actually, I'm going to find the apology. I pulled up his Instagram. Do me a favor. Speaking of that, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button right now. On the count of three, everybody hit the thumbs up button. If you're on Facebook, please share it to your page. If you're on Instagram, just say hello. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please share it to your page. Just say hello in the chat so I know that you guys are listening. So here's what he said. Here's what he wrote. He wrote, "I want to address my use of the word bulldog during a conversation with someone who felt I was making disrespectful remarks about my wife and our relationship. I responded with the same, making a cruel comment on his wife's physical stature." So he claims that he wasn't saying that all black women are bulldogs. He was saying that his wife was a bulldog, which honestly, that does explain certain things. It doesn't let him off the hook, but it does explain what was going on. Like, it was between those two guys for the most part. However, the statement has broader implications than just him against this other dude, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. He says, "I responded with, hold on. I know that two wrongs don't make a right, but I let my emotions get the better of me in the heat of the moment. For that, I apologize to him, his wife, and the rest of his family for the hurtful and crude remarks made that day. As I did in the rest of the conversation thread multiple times, I will clarify again that I was not using the term as a reference to black women. That is not at all how I feel, but I do not need to justify to the world that I love my black people. I have no animosity or bitterness toward my race. I believe in love and equality." Now, the interesting thing about that comment is that, I think he can be heard, right? Let's just be clear. I don't know if it sounds like I'm cooling on this, but I think he can be heard, right, on this. At the same time, though, I know a little bit about people that I would just affectionately refer to as those kumbaya motherfuckers. I can't think of a more analytical way to describe that. I don't know. It's just coming out this way. If I were talking to Alicia, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's one of them kumbaya motherfuckers." Now let me explain to you what a kumbaya motherfucker is. A kumbaya motherfucker, you might know what it is, but let me give you a technical definition in the world according to Boyce Watkins. Feel free to disagree. That's okay. We disagree all the time on this platform. A kumbaya motherfucker is somebody who runs around telling you that racism is a figment of your imagination. A kumbaya motherfucker is a person who tells you that I believe in loving everyone. I accept all races, and all races accept me. It's about the content of your character, not the color of your skin, right? Right? They say things like this. So when somebody comes along and they talk about the challenges of being black, and they talk about the importance of supporting the black community, the kumbaya motherfucker doesn't hear any of that. All they hear are butterflies and rainbows and white people and Charmin paper towels, and like their whole world is like rose petals and people holding hands and going to church and going to Joel Osteen's church and singing about white Jesus. Like, that's how the kumbaya motherfucker thinks. Now, here's what happens to the kumbaya motherfucker, though. The kumbaya motherfucker sees a person like me. They see, angry, evil, militant Boyce Watkins. Like, because I went through this. I had kumbaya motherfuckers that I worked with. And they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go near him because he's just angry. He's causing unnecessary problems. He's blah, blah," right? And I'm over there like, "This racism is ridiculous. What the hell?" Blah, blah, blah. And then what happens is one day, white supremacy, white folks, racism smacks you upside your head. One day you're sitting there and you're like, kumbaya, flowers and rainbows, butterflies and bunnies, everything's wonderful. And then all of a sudden, white folks start acting white and they take your ass down. And you know what happens to that person? Suddenly, they are traumatized to the teeth and they turn into Malcolm X. You know, have you ever seen this? Give me a yes or no. If you've ever seen a kumbaya motherfucker on your job who thought you were too serious about race, and why does everything have to be about race? You always talk about race. And then one day they go through some shit. They go through some terrible, horrible shit. And then suddenly they want to come and inform you on how racist people can be. Has anybody ever seen that? I have seen it. I've seen it. Right? Like that's the thing. See, America lulls you to sleep, especially if you're an athlete. Some of these athletes, a lot of the athletes, good, strong brothers. You got the LeBron James types out here that just really are holding it down for the community. But some of these damn athletes are on another planet. They literally are on another planet where they've had pillows shoved up their ass for 20 years, and they really think racism ain't real. They really don't identify when black people are talking about racism because they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, that's because you're 6'8", 250 pounds with $10 million in the bank or with a television endorsement deal, and they love the shit out of you. You go every time you get out there and dunk a basketball, you have 100,000 white people screaming your praises. It's not until you get out in the real world and they give you that Paul Mooney nigga wake up call. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what it is. That you suddenly want to get all militant now because suddenly you're realizing what we've been talking about all along. So that's what I mean by, that's my definition of the kumbaya motherfucker. There's a lot of them. You probably know some. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. You know, they're among us. They're all out here, and they constantly tell you that they believe in equality and inclusion and racism is not so bad, and that's a thing of the past, right? And because they haven't gone through nothing yet, they haven't gone through what some of you have gone through. So, you know, when I hear his statement about, you know, like I believe in race or I believe in equality and love and all these other things, I kind of listen. I kind of feel bad for him, and I feel like he is a guy that's gonna go through some tough experiences in his life. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if that money stops coming in, that wife is gone. I'll just say that right now. I can just look at her. I can look at her damn Instagram page. Anybody seen her like her the image of like this woman like the pic? I'm not okay. I'm not 30, right? So maybe I've changed, but I'm not trying to marry a woman that's taking bikini shots on Instagram. That's not of interest to me. That doesn't mean that she's a bad person. It just means she's a certain kind of person. How about that? That doesn't make her a bad person. It means it makes her a certain kind of person. And I'm gonna just tell you straight out, if he don't make that money, she's gonna be gone. I mean, in fact, she wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for the money. Because he up here talking about, well, maybe somebody said, do you think that she would be dating you if you weren't in the NBA? And he's like, well, I mean, if you mean that if I wasn't in the NBA, I wouldn't have played in Toronto and I wouldn't have met her in Toronto, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no. See, if you were, you know, the regular Joe Blow working over at Home Depot, she probably wouldn't have gave you the time of day. In fact, she probably wanted to get with, you play for the Clippers? The star of the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi had been available that day, y'all's wedding wouldn't have happened. I think she would have left you at the altar to get to Kawhi Leonard because there's a certain type of NBA wife in many occasions, not in every occasion, but in many occasions. They are incredibly precise about which types of black men they find to be desirable and which types of black men they find to be unacceptable. And that's just what it is. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done this yet. And by the way, guys, I want you guys to know, I know a lot of you had opinions and things you want to share on this channel. I know I had the phone number thing, and it was kind of tough to keep up with the phone number. But what I did instead was actually in about 2 days, you'll be able to go to voiceYourOpinion.com. I used to do these segments called Voice Your Opinion. You can go to Voice Your Opinion, just like my name is spelled, voiceYourOpinion.com, and you can actually leave a video. And so if you leave a video, do a short commentary. If you have an opinion on something that you've seen in the media or you want to give your take, then you have 3 minutes to speak your piece. And what I'm gonna do is pull those videos together and put them on the channel. Okay, so feel free to go to voiceYourOpinion.com. In fact, if you're watching it, the recording, it might even be up already. So feel free to go to voiceYourOpinion.com. Let me see here. I'm looking at some of your comments. Yeah, I wonder why this guy called his women bulldogs. I really will say that one thing I will give him is that he was probably talking about that man's wife more so than talking about all black women. But by talking about his wife, he could be indirectly referencing all black women, because chances are that his racial bias led him to see this woman as less attractive because she's a black woman. You follow what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Right? So it's kind of a, if you believe, like, if you have two types of animals in the woods, you have the bears and you have the tigers. If you think the tigers are inherently superior to the bears, then even the most beautiful bear is going to look less attractive to you than any tiger out there, right? Do you follow what I'm saying? So it's because you think tigers in general are just more attractive and they're generally more appealing. So because he thinks white women are generally more appealing, then you could take some mediocre ass white girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, and compare her to the most gorgeous, sexiest, curvaceous, amazing black woman ever, and the white girl still has a chance because that's his preference. That's what he likes. That's what he loves, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily mean you can say he's a bad person for this, but I think that there are, and I saw the comments, I read the comments, and a lot of sisters were just like, fuck you and your apology. You don't even mean that shit. You're only apologizing because you didn't want to get in trouble, or you don't want us to go up your butt about it. And I agreed with them, and actually it seemed like the bulk of the responses were in agreement with the people who said this is an issue, like this is not cool, you can't say this. And so I think that also what I picked up on is that I think black women are just sick of us shitting on them. I really think that black women are just sick of black men being disrespectful. They're sick of the Tommy Sotomayor types out here that think black women are garbage. They're sick of all the people that want to tell them that they are less attractive. They're sick of the black men who who get a couple dollars in their pocket. Next thing you know, they got Becky on their arm. I think they're sick of that, and I don't blame them. I mean, if I was a woman, I'd want, to be able to marry quality, attractive, men that are doing well financially. We tend as black men sometimes, not all of us, but many of us, will kind of, it's like you get to a certain status and you somehow think that dating outside your race becomes a status symbol. That becomes yet another status symbol. In fact, I remember when I was in Hollywood, and I remember people telling me about nightclubs that they worked at where they said, we're told not to let black women in. We're told not to let the black women in, except maybe the light-skinned black women, but we're told generally not to let black women in because they're disruptive, they're going to cause problems, they're going to bring drama. And I just thought that was crazy. And so if I was a black woman, I'd be pretty pissed off right now. So, and it's unfortunate because I end up having to fight against a lot of angry black women who just hate all black men, and they think I'm the enemy too because I'm a man. You're a man, you're a powerful man, so therefore you must be evil. And I fight back. I'll defend myself, but I only fight so far because I understand the source of the anger. I'm sick of this shit too. I think it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. So, I just encourage you right now in the chat, all the brothers who are watching, just say I love you to black women. Just put in I love you in the chat if you could, and let black women know that we love them. I think women in general, I've noticed, it seems, my humble opinion is that they want to know that they're loved. And I just want to get all the black men right now in the chat to just say, I love you. Like, I love the black woman. Talk about what you love about black women or what makes them amazing. Because I could go down the list. I'm not going to sound like a weirdo or anything, but literally, like, I just think of so many things that I've seen with black women that you don't see anywhere else. I think about the day I met Alicia, and now mind you, she's high yellow. She's a light skinned black woman, but she's out of Gary. She came from the hood, so she ain't no bunny rabbit out of like San Bernardino or whatever. And I remember when I met her, like, I thought she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. Like, definitely, like, I don't recall ever seeing a more beautiful woman. And the thing was that she wasn't just gorgeous, but there were just attributes. You know how black women got that like extra, like they can carry a couple extra pounds, and it's like all in the right place. Not all black women. I'm not stereotyping. I'm not trying to sound stupid. If I sound like a dummy, just chalk it up to the fact that love makes you stupid. But you know how black women can just carry weight? Like, a black woman can be 200 pounds and be amazing. A white woman gets to be 200 pounds and she looks like a big fat egg McMuffin. Like, she does not, that, like, white women can't carry weight like black women can, and then also, speaking of carrying weight though, black women can carry other types of weight in a way nobody else can. They have a type of strength that nobody else has. My grandmother had a strength that is unmatched that anywhere except for other people's black grandmas. The only other time I've seen my grandmother's strength is when I look at other people's grandmas. I'm like, yeah, your grandma is just like my grandma because we all got the same grandma. And a lot of the young women carry that strength that their grandmothers had. And I think that the men have to match that. Like I think as men, because you've been emasculated in America, because you've been made into a little boy, they want the black man to be a little boy, or they want him to be a little girl. Pick one. You either got to be a little boy or a little girl. Either way, you need to not be a threat. That's why you see black men carrying themselves either as comedians, making white people laugh, because that's what makes white people feel comfortable, or they're wearing dresses, right? Because that's what makes people feel comfortable, or they're doing childish things like sagging their pants at 35 years old. Don't no grown ass woman want to be with no 35-year-old man who's trying to sag. Like that's not appropriate. That's not cool, right? So ultimately, I think as men, I think we got to challenge ourselves to just say, okay, I see all that strength from black women, and I'm going to match that. And again, it doesn't mean every black woman's healthy or every black man is healthy mentally. We got a lot of problems to overcome, but I think that that's another sign of toughness in terms of your commitment to the community. You know, can you love through all of that? You know, can you find a way to, you know, if a black woman disappoints you, can you find a way to find another black woman who isn't going to disappoint you? Can you find another black woman that is going to work, you know, and be worthy of your love, right? Just because you don't, it's like picking a black business. If one black owned business doesn't do a good job for you, you don't abandon all black owned businesses. You just maybe, but you can't abandon that business, right? It's okay to say, I'm not coming back to this business. I'm just going to find another black business. And that's pretty much how I always thought about relationships. You know, I've been hurt by black women. Everybody's been hurt. Everybody's been disappointed by somebody in their life. And I never once said, oh, I'm going to go date white women now because black women are a bunch of bulldogs. I just said, well, okay, I know black women pretty well. Those black women over there, you know, the ratchet ones, that's not my style. That's somebody's style. They deserve love too, but they ain't gonna get love from me. But you find classy women out here, quality women, you know, who are living their best lives, who are being the best people that they can be, who are as supportive as a human being can be toward another person. Those women are second to none. And I really want you to, I want to encourage all the brothers out here to really understand, like, being with a black woman really is a privilege. It's a privilege. It's a protection. It is you're giving your best to your community. And that's the other thing too. A lot of people, when they talk about, you know, what it means to do something for your community, they always want to do a little charity. Like they'll say, oh, I volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club, or I gave $20 to the local charity. But that's not the bulk of who you are, right? The bulk of who you are is, you know, when you talk about, for example, celebrities will give their charity to the black community, but they'll make their big investments in the white community. Instead, they should be giving their charity to the white community and their big investments to the black community. Like Jay-Z will go, no disrespect to Jay, but Jay will give a couple scholarships in the hood, but then he'll go invest $5 million into a big white-owned company. And my thought is, why not do the opposite? Why not put that $5 million investment into a black-owned company right in the hood, and then give your scraps to white folks? Give the little scholarships to white boys if you want to. Black people want the big piece of chicken. They deserve the best, right? Same thing is true too when you talk about investing. In marriage is an investment. Who you marry is the biggest investment you'll make, because you're investing not just money, you're investing your life, right? So when you make your big investment, that's what tells me where your values lie. So if you make your big investment in black women, then that tells me that you're in it with both feet. You're committed to this thing, right? So it doesn't mean that you're bad. I mean, some of y'all might have interracial relationships. I know good people that are in interracial relationships, and I'm not here to make you question your whole life. I had a brother that came to my event and told me afterward he was going to dump his white girlfriend. I feel terrible about that. You know, but still though, I think when you're talking about this, you guys know I know investing very well, and I can tell you the way you can tell somebody's value system is, where are you investing your most valuable assets? Where are you investing your money? Where are you investing the bulk of your time? Where are you investing your love? Where are you investing your life, right? Think about this. You know, when we invest our time, one of the reasons our community suffers is because we give more time working for a white business than we give to our own community. We'll go and spend 50 hours a week working for a white man's business, and then give the black community 5 hours a week of volunteer work on Saturdays, right? And instead, you should be giving, if you can, find a way to give the bulk of your time to your community, and then invest your spare time in something else, right? So that's just my 2 cents. That's my thought. I want to say thank you, first of all and foremost, to Nikki Proctor Walden. Thank you for your support. She says it can be difficult to love a black man through his foolishness, but the reward is witnessing his evolution. It is truly the best evidence that God is real. That is true. That is true. You know, and it's really hard to change a person. You know, honestly, when people ask me, when people ask me about relationship advice type stuff, I always tell them, you know, don't really gamble that you'll be able to change a person, though. It is so hard. and people will just hurt your feelings and disappoint you. And if they ain't ready for change, it's going to be hard to do it. But if you find somebody that's ready for change and ready to make the sacrifice, then you are an angel. You're a blessing for them if you help them make that step. So, for example, Alicia changed me. She got me from eating bad food and not exercising to eating good food and working out every day. And I lost a lot of weight because of it. But here's the thing. If I had not been ready for that change, it would not have worked. I would have resisted that. I would have been angry toward her. I would have been bitter toward her for bothering me about this, right? So be cautious. You know, when you're looking to change somebody, be there for them, but make sure they're ready to let you take the wheel and to really do what you need them to do. If they're not ready to do that, then you might need to find somebody who's a little bit more receptive. Okay, so be careful about trying to change people because it can be tough. But when it does work, you're right. It is a beautiful thing. My daddy will give my mother credit all day long. My daddy came back from Vietnam addicted to heroin, just straight up for real. You know, he said it publicly, so I think it's okay for me to repeat that. He came back from Vietnam with a heroin addiction, like a lot of our black men did, and he walked away from that shit. I believe it was love and family that did that for him. So it is doable. It does happen. Dudley Jazz Festival. Thank you, Fred, for your support. He wrote Dudley Jazz Festival in here. So everybody hear this again. Dudley Jazz Festival. Okay, I want you guys to know about that. Kenyatta made a donation. Thank you very much, Kenyatta. He says, thanks for being you. Well, thank you for being you, man. I really appreciate your support. And it means so much to helping us, reach more and more people. So thank you. Jimmelson, Pierre-Louise, did I say that right? Jimmelson Pierre-Louise, PhD. I want to say your name right because you give regularly, and I appreciate that. And so let me tell you, Dr. Pierre-Louise's book is called Extreme Poverty to Success at Amazon. Extreme Poverty to Success at Amazon. So Christmas is coming. Go buy you a black-owned book. I said it right? All right, Pierre-Louise. Okay, I finally got it right. Dr. Pierre-Louise wrote a book called From Extreme Poverty to Success. Go to Amazon. You're spending a bunch of money at Christmas time, so go get a couple copies of that book. So you gave $25, and I want you to make at least $100 off that investment because that's my goal. My goal is to help you to benefit from supporting the platform. Okay, and anybody else who wants to be a patron for the platform and things like that, we give you lots of free stuff. Feel free to join our League of Intelligent Black People, which is at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Dee says, "Boyce, you are low key pandering to the feminists." Actually, I don't think the word feminist is always a negative term until it starts to infringe on the rights of other people. And so when you get to the point where you're using terms like toxic masculinity on a regular basis, or you're overusing this idea that somehow men are all predators, or you're jumping into the Me Too movement with both feet, that's a problem for me. I have a big issue with that, and I've talked about that to the point where a lot of feminists are pissed off at me. But one thing I am going to say though, and I don't really care if anybody thinks it sounds feminist or not. Y'all in the conscious community, brothers in the conscious community, got to stop disrespecting black women. Seriously, like you have to start understanding that they are our backbone. And so, women give us a lot of leeway. I'm gonna tell you, because I ain't perfect. I say a lot of dumb shit, and I got a lot of black women that have my back, regardless of even when I make a mistake in my personal life and in my public life, and that is not unnoticed. And so, given that they give us so much leeway, given that many of them will support us even when we say something stupid, then it's up to you to step your game up, black man, and stop being a bitch and stop thinking that you can disrespect black women at every turn and have that be okay. Let's just be real. You must hear when you see women that are so hurt that they have a hard time trusting a black man. That didn't come out of fucking thin air, man. That came from the fact that there are men that aren't doing our jobs, right? So we have to, as we accept and embrace the love and respect that black women give us so willingly, the fact that they allow us to be kings, that like we are, we must also return that by understanding their role as queens and understanding the power and the importance of the queen. You can't get something without giving something back. And there's a lot of men out there. There are a lot of men out there who think they're supposed to get it all and give nothing back. And that is not how life works. That's not supposed to be how things work. And I can tell you, ladies, straight up, if a man is doing it, if he's taking everything you got and giving you nothing back, then you probably need a better man. Because a real man understands that there's sacrifice required to earn a woman's love. You can't just get it all and then give nothing back, or then shit on the people who love you the most and think that's going to be okay. So I don't know who the person was that made the comment. Maybe they were just trying to be silly or poke away or whatever. And I'm not letting them poke away, but I'm just really trying to make that point because we do have issues. We do have things we need to fix. And I think that out of respect for the women who love us, the women who come here in this platform and support us whenever we go hard against, some of the crazy feminists out here, we need to reciprocate that. These women are precious. We must protect them. We must support them. And that's something I'm always going to do. If that doesn't work for you, then you should probably leave this platform because I'm not letting that shit go ever. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button before you go. One last point I'll make to you guys. Don't forget, if you have an opinion and you want to do a short video, I can try to get it on the channel. I can't guarantee everything will get here, but if you want to do a short video, you can go to voiceyouropinion.com. I'll have that up in a couple of days for sure, maybe even sooner. Voiceyouropinion.com. Feel free to leave a video there. Also, we have the estate planning seminar tomorrow, and then we have other seminars coming up on credit repair and what was it? Oh, how to make money as a government contractor. So if you're interested in any of that, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. I see some of you are asking financial questions. Go check us out at the Black Financial Channel also. You know, we have a big financial channel. It's on YouTube, theblackfinancialchannel.com. So we got a lot of stuff going on, and we love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Be good. Peace.